Today we're looking at the all-new GMC Acadia. This is the Denali version, and the interesting thing about Canada is it's the biggest market for GMC. A lot of American viewers might not know this, but if there's a choice between Chevrolet and GMC, Canadians often pick the GMC, and 1 in 4 of the Acadias is actually sold in this Denali trim. So that's why we have it here today. So this is a brand new model. It's part of the 3 Amigos. You might remember the Traverse from Chevrolet, the Buick Enclave, and this Acadia all share this platform. Not the case anymore. At least first out of the gate with a refresh is the GMC Acadia. I'm sure the other 2 will be coming on this platform. And the reason why it's so important, because it's 330 kilograms lighter than the outgoing model. It's narrower, it's shorter, but it still has a ton of space on the inside. What does that benefit you? Improved fuel economy and better handling. So on the outside, the Denali gets a unique grille, 20-inch 6-spoke wheels, and it also has some nice LED accents. Now each Acadia trim has a different grille to differentiate it. One thing I'll say about the styling, I don't think they're that original. This to me looks a lot like the Dodge Durango. The way the headlights wrap around the front, even the back, the way they have the rear lights separated by the chrome is kind of a tip of the hat to that racetrack light bar in the back of the Durango. Even the way the rear fenders flare out looks to me a lot like that Dodge Durango. But they've done it with a certain GMC flair. And kudos to Dodge, you're getting copied, that means you're doing it right. So the real story is an all-new from the wheels up platform that's lighter and more efficient. Inside, more upscale. Now, as I mentioned, this new Acadia is slightly shorter and narrower than the previous version. Now, at the back, when the 3rd row of seats is up, the cargo capacity is kind of limited. Now, most people buy these and want the 2 rows with the occasional 3rd row, so that isn't a problem. But if you were looking for a vehicle with all 3 rows up and lots of storage, the best option really is a minivan. And these have become minivan replacements. People want to move their friends and their kids and everybody around, but they don't want to be seen driving a minivan. That's why these are so popular. On the seating side, I think GMC has done a good job. The 2nd row of seats is very roomy. You can have different configurations, whether you want a bench seat in the back or the captain's chairs, and you can slide those seats forward and you can make more room for the 3rd row of seats. So what I did was I slid the seats forward just about 3-4 inches, and then I'm able to climb into the 3rd row of seats and have plenty of room for an adult. Now, it's not lots of room, but you could certainly sit back there for a short trip, and for kids, it's certainly big enough. So that capacity to slide the 2nd row seat forward is really important. Now, moving forward, General Motors has done a great job of cleaning up their dashboards, with the exception of Cadillac. Cadillac still has the Q system, the touch-sensitive system. This is very easy to use and understand. You've got big dials and big buttons with a responsive head unit, and it has all the latest systems for you to connect your phone. There's an LTE 4G hotspot in this vehicle, plus OnStar, and this stuff works. I had a Cadillac Escalade in the summer, and I was at my son's camp, and they had no service, but with the big antenna on the roof, I was able to get a cell connection that I couldn't on my phone, because remember, the antenna on your phone is very small. The antenna in this is much bigger, and lightning quick downloads, and able to get email, even do voice calls over internet through the car. So that's amazing. You notice there's a new TFT screen behind the steering wheel, so it has the combination of the latest technology with a very simple and clean and easy to understand dashboard. And I have to hand it to General Motors. The fit and finish in here is absolutely right up to snuff with everybody else in the industry. So we're in the Denali version. You get some nice features. You get heated and ventilated seats in the front. You get heated seats and automatic climate control in the 2nd row, and you also get a heated steering wheel. So overall, it's very simple in here, but I think for what it's supposed to do, which is to move people around, they've done a good job. Now, as I mentioned, this vehicle is substantially lighter, and it's very hard for car companies to achieve this kind of weight savings. 330 kilograms, that's a massive reduction in weight. And because of that, you're able to downsize the engine offerings. Now, the base engine is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine. It has 193 horsepower and 188 pound-feet of torque. Now, the engine most people will buy is the 3.6-liter V6 with 310 horsepower and 271 pound-feet of torque. That's the one I would buy. Because even though they have reduced the weight, this is still a big vehicle, and when you load it with people, you're asking a smaller engine to do a lot of work instead of a larger engine basically just to loaf along. Now it's going through a 6-speed automatic transmission to the front wheels on the base models and all wheels for most models. That's once again the way most people will configure it. You have a selector here in the center of the console, lets you choose different settings, and the nice thing is you can go to 2-wheel drive when you know that you're not going to need the all-wheel capability to get the best fuel consumption, and then put it into the all-wheel drive setting for times when it's raining or it's cold or what have you. Now, in addition, there is an optional variable dampening control system that you can get on this vehicle. Most people, I think, will not need it, but it basically adjusts the suspension automatically for you if you want. Now, an area that General Motors excels at, and people often ask, Zach, I'm looking for a vehicle, I want it to be smooth and quiet. That is a main priority for me in the kind of driving I do. Maybe I commute a lot or do a lot of highway driving. If you want smooth and quiet, go and try General Motors vehicles, because they do a fantastic job of insulating the road from the cabin and the engine from the cabin, and this is a very quiet vehicle. But this GMC Denali definitely feels very quiet and sophisticated, more car-like, actually more minivan-like than a traditional SUV. In fact, I've really enjoyed driving it a lot. It's comfortable and smooth, and I can't stress that enough. If you're looking for a comfortable vehicle and a smooth vehicle, General Motors knows how to do that better than most. GMC has an interesting price proposition. Front-wheel drive models start at $35,000 and go to just under $40,000. If you want to go all-wheel, which is what most people will buy in Canada, it starts right around $38,000, and this Denali version starts at around $54,000. So there really is a price point for everybody. It's great to see General Motors is doing the right thing by their products, making them lighter, giving engine choices, and a broad range of prices. This vehicle shows what they can do right. If you want smooth, quiet, and refined, this might be the Acadia for you.